Hello, this is Mark Wildman of Wildman Athletica, and today we are going to talk about the 4 best core exercises for beginners. In the beginning of core training, we want to make sure that we're getting the abs to even fire. A lot of times people jump into core training and their abs don't fire as well as they should, so they don't get a lot out of ab exercises because things just aren't forced into the correct firing sequence right away. We're going to have a bridge tuck, a spinal rock, a flat back pullover, and a kettlebell swing. For this exercise, it would help if you had a cushioned surface in the beginning. I'm not going to use a cushioned surface. What I'm using is not a yoga mat. This is an equipment mat that goes under like a home treadmill. They're $15. They're way bigger than yoga mats. They're a way better option for most people, and if you destroy them, it doesn't matter. For our first exercise, we are going to do a bridge tuck. So we're taking 2 exercises and putting them together in order to help our lower back and our core start to fire in such a way that it will support future movements. First exercise, 2 feet pointed straight ahead, close to your body. Feet are shoulder width apart, the same distance as your squat should be. From here, head down, we are going to bridge up. This is going to force our glutes to fire. Your glutes are your core. If your glutes don't work, your core is not going to work super great. Bridge up, and then the tuck part. We are going to look up, grab our knees, and we are going to pull our knees all the way up to our chest. Feet down, bridge up, and pull the knees into the chest. Bridge up, and pull the knees into the chest. This exercise is great because if there's something wrong with your lower back, you're immediately going to find it with this exercise. When you bridge up, you're going to activate your glutes. When you pull your knees in, you're going to stretch out your lower back, and we're going to try and push your spine into the ground in order to make sure that your spine is moving correctly for the future activities that you need to do to be strong with your core. The next exercise is a spinal rock. This exercise seems like it should be easy, but I really don't see it being done a lot of places. In Pilates, they do a version of this called rolling like a ball. We're going to do kind of a fighter's version of this, which is a little bit simpler. Our feet are going to be squat distance apart. At the bottom, we're going to put our hands on our knees, and we are going to drive our chest up towards the sky. We're going to extend the spine, lift our chest up as hard as we can. Now we're going to do the roll part. We are going to start from here, and we are going to push back, rounding our entire spine. From here, we're going to start to rock. The main goal here is to not make any thumping noises. If you have thumping noises, you have to push in harder here to push your lower back down. Extend the spine, flex the spine, rock. Extend the spine, flex the spine. Extend the spine, flex the spine. This is a basic activity, but during the rock, your abs have to be on in some way. Otherwise, you will splat. A splat noise is not what we are looking for. So we're trying to get rid of any noise and go as slow as you have to in order to get rid of any noise. So if you just heard me going down, you heard a little bit of a thump as my shirt touched the ground, but we try very hard to pull in, to be round in the spine in order to do the rock up. Simple but effective. This exercise is normally done as time under tension. You would set a clock for a minute and you would do a minute of these, integrate them into your program. When you're not making any noise, you're doing it right. Your abs have to be on. Our third exercise is going to have a very similar setup to our spinal rock. Feet shoulder width apart or squat width apart, feet pointed generally straight ahead. We are going to go down with our kettlebell. Think about this exercise as holding a crunch and moving a weight while you're holding a crunch. Our flat back pullover. Right now, our rib cage is up and my lower back is off the ground. I'm going to push my ribs down to get into a crunch position. Now we're trying to have these muscles be on. Push your lower back into the ground. If there's a gap between your lower back and the mat, push in harder. That's the hard part. From here, we have a weight on the opposite side of our head. We're going to pull our arms over until our elbows touch the ground. As we go back, we are not going to let our rib cage lift up. We are going to resist extension, meaning our rectus abdominis has to stay contracted the entire time. This exercise has the least amount of movement in it for the most benefit of holding your core on the entire time. Get our kettlebell in place, rib cage down. These muscles are on, and we're going to pull over. elbow touch, resist extension. Pull over, elbow touch, resist extension. Pull over, elbow touch, resist extension. So in this position, our rib cage stays down. If our rib cage flares up and our lower back leaves the ground, that's what we're trying to avoid. We are holding that crunch, and as we move the weight through the range of motion, the abs are being challenged the entire time. Our last basic core activity is our two-hand kettlebell swing or our hand-to-hand kettlebell swing. The hand-to-hand is the superior version. We have videos on both of these separately. We're just gonna do a walkthrough right now. Feet pointed straight ahead, feet shoulder width apart. We are gonna hinge our hips back at the bottom, grab the kettlebell, swing, and we are transitioning back and forth between hand to hand. The transition causes our core to fire cross stabilization from left hand to right hand, back and forth over and over and over again, and combining our core with our hips, which is really the important part. Most people don't have good core firing because they don't have good hip firing. At the bottom of this movement, we are loading our hamstrings as we stand up. We squeeze our glutes, our pelvic floor is tight. We push our rib cage down and we change hands at the top. At the top of every single one of these reps is essentially a plank position, but we can control the amount of load by adjusting the number of reps and the weight of the kettlebell. Simple but effective core training is usually the best way to get to advanced core training. Very simple beginner routine for this would be to go slow. Your bridge tuck, do it for a minute. Transition to your spinal rock, do it for a minute. Flat back pullover with a light weight, hold the core tight, do it for a minute. Hand to hand swing, do it for a minute with a light weight. Repeat this series 4 times, would be a total of 12 minutes for this very, very simple workout. Try it. You're gonna realize pretty quickly that even if you already are good at core, there's a lot of core in here already. It's just a very, very healthy way to prep your spine, your hips, and your abs for more advanced core work later on.